Oh, that should work better. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We're just going to wait for a few more people to join, and then we're going to get started. My name is Amalia Ramirez. I'm Marketing Director for Intercosmetics, and today we're going to be talking about some key strategies and best practices for reopening your beauty business in light of the COVID pandemic. So this webinar is going to be a little bit different from our previous webinars we've been running. As usual, if you have any questions or anything that you want to bring up, just please type it in the chat or in the Q&A section, and we will do a little Q&A at the end. So we'll get to all your questions at the end of the webinar. To give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to talk about some hygiene and disinfection best practices. We're going to talk about setting up your space to start to receive clients. We're going to talk about some strategies for managing appointments, what would be your client and staff protocols, and we're going to talk about PPE and the personal protective equipment, what you need to protect yourself and to protect your clients and to get everyone feeling safe and comfortable back in your beauty business. And then finally, we're going to end the presentation talking about some strategies to make up for lost revenue. So it's been a few months now that everybody's been on lockdown and that business has not been running as usual. So what are some ways that we can save your skincare business and save your beauty business with some marketing strategies to get people back in and to get things running again? So I'm going to get started. I'm just going to share the presentation and we'll get started in just a moment. Okay, so are you ready to reopen? Today we're going to be discussing post-COVID strategies to keep safe and save your skincare business. And in particular, what does this mean for you? So as I said, we're going to be talking about hygiene, disinfecting, preparing the physical space, managing appointments, client and staff protocols, PPE, performing treatments, and marketing to make up for lost profit. Before we get started, please note that everything we're talking about today is just a general guide of helpful tips and suggestions. So please check with your provincial regulatory boards and your regional public health office. Every region has slightly different regulations, so make sure you check there first. If you're a member of a professional association, please check there for guidelines and standards of practice for your profession and for your location. We are recording this webinar. Today is Thursday, June 25th. So keep in mind that in this pandemic, things are changing very quickly. So just make sure that if you're watching this webinar at a later date, you keep in mind that things are changing and check your local regulations to see if there's anything new. That should be your first step. So what we're going to be talking about today are more general helpful tips and sort of best practices. But if anything that we say is contradicting what might be in your local public health, obviously go with what your local public health is saying. We have participants from all across the country, so every area is a little bit different. We are located in, our head office is in Mississauga, so we sort of follow the GTA guidelines, but again, everywhere is a little bit different, so check your local place. Okay, so hygiene and disinfecting. This is going to be where we start off the presentation. Our industry, the beauty industry, has always maintained high standards of hygiene. This is something that's always been important to beauty businesses, but this is going to become even more important now as people are nervous about re-entering public places and re-entering businesses. So the most important thing, you're not going to change much about your hygiene and disinfecting, but it's very important that you communicate the high level of hygiene to your clients. Before, it wasn't such a big deal that they knew how often you were cleaning and disinfecting, how often you were sanitizing your tools, what measures you were taking to keep your space clean. Of course, back of your mind, that's something people were worried about, but now it's very front and center. So it's very important that you communicate this information to your clients. And if you manage a staff, it's very important that your staff all understands how to communicate about hygiene and disinfection, because those are probably going to be some of your first questions that you get. Some of the first tips that we want to talk about are things that everybody's been talking about this whole pandemic, Wash and sanitize your hands frequently, very important. If you cough or sneeze, it should be into your elbow, not into your hands or into a tissue, and it should be immediately discarded, and you should wash your hands immediately afterwards. Avoid touching your face, in particular eyes, nose, and mouth. And wipe down all surfaces and equipment. We recommend using Preempt or Microlium because these are high-level disinfectants that are actually recognized by Health Canada to kill the coronavirus on surfaces. So these are excellent disinfectants that you know are going to be doing the job. We recommend that you wipe down all surfaces using Preempt before and after clients, and any high-touch surface very frequently throughout the day. So high-touch surface would be a doorknob, a light switch, a door handle, handrail, anything that throughout the day people are going to touch very frequently throughout the day, wipe it down with a disinfectant. We recommend that you clean with Preempt or Microlium after every service and air out the area before the next client. And in addition to cleaning between clients, clean all regularly touched surfaces very often. So here we have a list of common surfaces, whichever applies to your premise. We recommend you go through your premise and kind of make a list of what are the areas that will commonly be touched, and add those to a checklist so that you know that either yourself or your staff are going to be getting those high-touch surfaces every time they go through to clean. So things like toilets and lids, waiting room chairs, light switches, handrails, any counters, if you have a water cooler, all of these things that are going to be frequently touched, you want to make sure that you're frequently wiping them down. If you want more information in particular about disinfection protocols, we do have a webinar on our website. We hosted a webinar last week from Preempt with very specific information about disinfection and sanitation. So if you want more information on that, I recommend you visit our website under the training heading, and you'll be able to see our past webinars, and that's a really great webinar to view. We also recommend that if you have a high-touch surface, you can wear gloves to protect yourself when you're touching that high-touch surface. We recommend that you remove magazines, books, newspapers, anything common in the waiting area that's going to be commonly touched. You can remove that just so it's one less thing to worry about. People are not going to want to be sharing magazines right now anyway, so better off to remove those. As far as testers, this is a big question we've been getting. We recommend that you remove testers from the retail area. If your clients want to try a retail product, what you can do is either have a staff member wear gloves and provide a small quantity using a cotton swab, no double dipping, but just dip it in once and give it to the client to try. So that's one way you can use a sample, or you can use a tester, or the other is if you have samples available, that might be the easiest option. For our skincare line, David La Palma, we do have samples available for all the retail products, so that's an easier way. Clean, sanitary, you don't have to worry about double dipping or any germs in the tester. We do have a makeup sanitizing spray that will be coming soon. We're going to be getting this sometime in July from RVB Lab, the makeup from Italy. This is a disinfecting spray that you can use on makeup surfaces. So if you want to have a tester of a blush, you can use this sanitizing spray and it will keep it clean between clients. For treatment beds, we recommend that you strip the linens completely and use a fresh set for each client. Sometimes people were using just disposable sheets in between, but we recommend strip it completely down, use a fresh set for everyone. This means you're gonna have to make sure you have lots of extra linens on hand. So just do a quick inventory of what you have on hand and make sure you have plenty of extra linens because you will be stripping it every time. Finally, we recommend do not share food, devices, pens, clothes, PPE, tools, anything. No sharing of items. If you absolutely need to share, you need to sanitize the shared equipment. So for example, if you have a microdermabrasion machine that you're going to be using, you have to make sure that all parts of that, including the buttons, including the on and off switch, everything needs to be sanitized before someone else uses it. And tools need to be wiped with a disinfection before and after each use. Now we're going to talk a little bit about preparing the treatment area. So preparing your spa and preparing the physical space. So first of all, try to use disposable tools and supplies wherever possible. That's going to make it much easier for you. Disposable as much as you can. Anything that cannot be disposable, you're going to want to clean and disinfect using Preempt, and then place it in an instrument tray or a sealable pouch. So for example, let's say you're doing a manicure. You're going to take your manicure tools, clean and sterilize and disinfect them using Preempt. And then instead of just bringing out the manicure tools to the table, you can store it in this tray. And that way when your clients receive it, when you go in to do the treatment, they'll see that it's coming out of a disinfection tray. They'll see that it's been kept sterilized and in an enclosed space. There's no chance that it's been contaminated by anyone. We also recommend that after you disinfect each station, you can apply a small little table talker or a little sign showing that the space has been disinfected. That's going to really increase customers' comfort so that as they're walking by, they know that that space has been cleaned. If you have purchased the virus kit that we have from Preempt, we still have quite a few available in stock. Those come with a little disinfectant talker that you can put on each station, and that's really helpful. And that one also comes, the Fight the Virus kit comes with the spray and the wipes. It's a really great item to look into getting if you don't have it already. Linens must be changed for every client. We talked about that briefly, but we recommend do not shake the linens and just place them in a closed laundry hamper and handle with gloves or wash your hands after. Between clients, you can leave the treatment area or the workstation clear of supplies with just a disinfection sign that we were talking about. That way, when the client comes, you set up the area in front of the client when they arrive. This is going to take an extra minute. Normally, if you're a busy spa or if you're busy with clients, you want to have that space set up. They sit down and you get started. But what we're recommending is to leave it blank and bring out the tools to them so that your client knows and they're certain that they're getting a clean and fresh set of tools and supplies. They're not going to be wondering if the table or the towel under their manicure was used for their last client, because they're going to see that you just pulled it out fresh. These are all little things that are going to really increase your customers' comfort, and it is important to communicate that everything is fresh, everything is clean and sanitized, because you don't want them wondering who's been sitting there before and what they're exposed to. As we mentioned, you want to avoid sharing supplies wherever possible. So this means that each treatment station should be well stocked with tools and supplies, so you don't need to share tools or supplies between staff members. If you're a spa that has typically used a dispensary where you use one product and share it between staff, make sure that you either have lots of little containers so that you can take care of that beforehand, or you can just get extra stock so each station has their own cuticle oil, their own lotion. That way you're not sharing and you don't have to worry about what that previous client was using. You know that each station is well stocked and clean. Finally, we want to let you know that the Government of Canada has a toolkit actually that's wonderful for reopening business, where they have some communication templates and they have some ready-made signage. So if you follow this link, you can actually prepare, you can print and get ready with signage about physical distancing, COVID signs, proper hygiene. You can place all that throughout your space so that, again, it's a reminder to your customers, and it also lets them know that you've done your research and you're well aware of what to be looking out for. And finally, you may have seen this, a lot of businesses are starting to open with a sign at the entrance discouraging customers who are exhibiting COVID symptoms from entering the business. Again, that's mostly a reminder to let your other customers know that you're not letting anybody in who's exhibiting cold or flu symptoms or any symptoms of COVID. It's going to make them feel much more comfortable in the space. Now, managing appointments and social distancing. We recommend that, first of all, most important, you need to screen all clients when you confirm their appointment. For Ontario, there's a self-assessment tool, or you can look up your local public health self-assessment questionnaire. It's just 5 quick questions that you can ask your clients to make sure that They are not exhibiting signs. They haven't traveled out of the country. They haven't been with anyone who has exhibited signs or has been diagnosed with COVID. You want to make sure that you confirm that before you let anybody into your spa. We recommend that you ask this at the time when you confirm the appointment and then again at check-in. Some spas do confirmation 2 days before, 48 hours before the appointment. So a lot can change in 48 hours. It's a good reminder when they come in as well. When you are managing bookings or when you're booking clients, we suggest that you consider, you need to allow for social distancing. So you need to consider the following points. One, you want to limit the number of workers on site at a time. So you need to manage your staff flow so that you don't have tons of people in who aren't seeing customers. You may need to limit the number of people you have in your building depending on the size of your space. Secondly, you need to make sure you allow enough time to clean and disinfect the treatment room and the treatment area after each appointment. This is going to mean that customers will probably have to wait a little bit more than their usual. You're going to have a little bit of time, extra time in between appointments. But again, this is where it's important to really communicate to your clients, we are disinfecting and your room's going to be ready in 1 moment. You have to plan the space to ensure physical distancing. So if you used to have a lot of manicure tables all close together, you're going to need to spread them out so that you have as much space as possible. Same with waiting areas or anywhere in the space. We recommend that you walk through your space and take a look at where are the areas that people congregate and make sure that you have enough space. And finally, you want to stagger start and end times if possible to avoid congregation at reception. So it's not a good idea to have all your appointments start at 9 a.m. because that means you're going to have 5, 6, 10 people at the front desk trying to check in at 9 a.m. So maybe you have one at 9, one at 9:15, one at 9:20. You stagger the appointment time so you have a little bit of extra time. Next, you should encourage your clients not to arrive more than 5 minutes before their appointment. You want to avoid them waiting in common areas. So typically, maybe you ask your clients to arrive 15 minutes before. Now you just want them there 5 minutes before. Minimal waiting time in the reception or waiting area. Again, we suggest you walk through the business and just take a look through fresh eyes about where are areas that you might have problems with social distancing or problems with congestion. You can rearrange your furniture or you can put markings on the floor easily with tape or through the business tool guide on the government's website that I was mentioning. You can put markings on the floor to help customers as they walk through the space. And make sure that anywhere a lineup may occur, like at reception or near the washrooms or near the stairs, make sure you leave that 2-meter marking so people know where to stand in line. Workers at all times should maintain at least 2 meters distance from each other and from clients. Now, how do you do that with a personal service like a manicure? This is where it gets tricky. So this is where we need to use PPE and barriers to limit contact as much as possible. And again, comply with whatever your public health rules are for gatherings as much as possible. Client protocols. So what do you need to be telling your clients to be aware of? First of all, as we mentioned, you want to do the screening when you confirm the appointment. And then you want to repeat that screening when they arrive for their appointment in case anything has changed since they confirmed. We recommend that you ask all clients to sanitize their hands at the door when they enter. And finally, ask your clients to bring their own mask. Most people have masks now, so you can ask them to bring their own mask or you can provide one for them if they don't have a mask for a small fee. Staff protocols. So we've talked about what to do with your clients. Now what do you do with your staff? We recommend that you screen all staff at the start of each shift. And any staff exhibiting symptoms should not be allowed in the workplace. You want to make sure that you train staff on the safe use of PPE and proper disinfection protocols. So again, here's where I would look at the Canada government website. They have some great resources about how to use a non-medical mask safely, how to wash your hands safely, what proper disinfection means. Those are great tools. They have posters that you can print and put up in your staff area or in your washrooms. Make sure that your staff know how to use Next, you want to make sure your staff are trained in how to communicate the safety measures that you're taking. It's really important that you can regain your client's confidence by telling them what you're doing to keep them safe. Your clients are probably going to be asking your staff or asking you, what are you doing to keep me safe? What are your protocols? So you want to make sure you have that down pat and you know exactly what to say. You want to make sure that your staff are not taken by surprise and that they know how to answer the question in a professional and in a calming and comforting way so that your clients feel comfortable. We recommend that you ask all staff to change into fresh, clean uniforms when they arrive at work. So they should not be commuting in their uniform. They should be commuting in street clothes and then changing into their uniforms at work. That way they're not working on clients with a uniform that might have been worn on public transit or maybe worn on the street and exposed to whatever has been on the street. You can also have disposable aprons for staff that they can wear over their uniforms and change that between clients. And finally, for staff, we recommend that you stagger staff lunches so that they aren't all off at the same time. And you can also stagger start and end times to the shifts to avoid congestion coming in and out. Now we're going to get into PPE, personal protective equipment. So like we said, this is a service industry, which means a lot of the time it's going to be very difficult to keep that 2-meter distance. This is where PPE comes in. And it's going to be really important to keep yourself safe and to keep your clients safe. And also, most importantly, it's a key visual sign to your clients that you are doing what you can to keep them safe, and that's going to help with confidence. So here are some items that we have, just a quick overview of what we recommend you use. Gloves. So we have nitrile gloves, vinyl gloves. One thing we want to mention is that availability for gloves is very low worldwide. Manufacturers can't get a hold of the raw materials. A lot of the gloves are being siphoned off to hospital and medical use. So it's been very difficult since the start of the pandemic to get a hold of gloves. So when you see gloves, buy them. But if you can't find gloves, hand washing is another good option. So as long as you are frequently hand washing, then gloves are not necessary. We've had a lot of questions from people saying, should I be wearing gloves during a treatment? If you feel comfortable doing that and you think your clients will be more comfortable and you can get a hold of gloves, then yes, by all means wear gloves. But if you can't get a hold of them, as long as you're washing your hands frequently, that is going to do a great job preventing the spread of germs. Masks. We have a few different kinds of masks. We recommend masks for yourself to be wearing and for your clients to be wearing. Again, you can sell these if they don't have their own. We have some that are like the N95 style of mask, a little bit thicker. And then we have the 3-ply softer style mask. We are getting in new masks when they're available. And the prices of masks has been up and down throughout this whole thing. So these are the prices that we have as of right now. When we're able to source some that are a little bit less expensive, we would obviously lower the price. But unfortunately, there's such a high demand that the prices have really increased over the past 6 months, again, even from raw materials and on. So masks is something that are going to be very important, and we recommend you really stock up on them while you can. We have plenty in stock and we're going to be getting in more as well. Face shields. This is another wonderful new item that we brought in. We have a few different options for the face shields. The difference in price is a difference in quality. So how thick are they? How resistant is the material? How many times are you going to be able to use it disinfecting it before it starts to get maybe scratched or a little bit more damage? And some of them are also more comfortable than other ones. So that's where you see the difference in price. We recommend that you wear a face shield throughout the day for every service, as well as a mask. That's going to protect you from getting any droplets or any germs splashed onto your face while you're working, and that should be disinfected between each client. The other thing I should mention is that if you have multiple staff, we recommend that each staff gets one mask. Do not share face shields. They should each have their own face shield, and they should be wiping them down between clients. Okay, protective barriers. We recommend using a protective barrier for the reception, and you can also use it for a manicure table. So while you're performing a manicure, you actually have this reception shield in between you and the client. You could also use it for pedicures. You could use it maybe for some other services, anything where the client's body part would fit through, and then that's going to act as an extra barrier. You can also use these pretty creatively. So if you have a space where maybe you're a little bit worried, you have the 2 meters, but you're worried that customers are going to feel that they're a little bit too close to the next manicure station, you can put this barrier up in between. So you can use that to create little pods for each client so that they feel comfortable in their own area. Okay, protective coverings. These are things that you can use for yourself and for your clients to prevent the spread of germs from one client to another client, and also to prevent clients from bringing germs from the outside into you. So it depends what you're comfortable with, but we have disposable gowns, disposable aprons, salon capes, and a cap. So you could be using this and changing your disposable apron between each client. That way, any germs that a client might have brought in from a previous client, you're not going to be passing that on to the next client. And you could also give these disposable aprons to your clients to wear so that they're not tracking in any germs that they've brought in from the street. And here we have the instrument trays that I was talking about. You can use these to present the clean instruments to your clients. That's just going to look so much more professional. Excuse me. When your clients get fresh tools and instruments brought to them in this clean tray, and they know that it hasn't just been left out into the air, it hasn't been used on previous clients, it's brand new. So we have one that is a storage tray with a clear lid, and then we have 2 different disinfecting trays. We have a stainless steel tray and we have a plastic tray. So you can use those 2 to actually disinfect, and then the storage tray to present to your clients. You can also use the autoclave pouches to present the clean instruments. If you have an autoclave, or even if you don't, you can, once you sterilize them, you can put them in there and then open the fresh set of tools in front of your client. And then of course, hand sanitizer, soap, alcohol, preempt, microlium, these are all very important disinfectant and sanitization products that you should make sure you're stocked up on and you have plenty of. You don't want to get to a busy Saturday and realize that you're low on hand soap in the washroom. So make sure you're going to need a lot more of this than you were previously using. So make sure that you are stocked up. Now we're going to get into providing treatments. So what do you need to do to be able to actually provide the treatments? You've prepared the space, you've got the PPE. What else should you be doing? First of all, we recommend that you review your menu and focus on doing short, effective, and high profit treatments. A lot of people are going to feel the pressure to sort of move towards doing cheaper services, but in fact, we think that's the opposite way to go. You're not going to be able to get a ton of people in. You're going to have less, because of social distancing, you're going to have less customers in a day. You're going to need more time in between. So don't waste your time with your cheapest treatments. You want to be focusing on your high profit treatments. That's where you need to be spending your time. And also don't forget that there have been plenty of surveys through, like the Leading Spas Association of Canada has done one, and the ABA and other beauty associations have done surveys of the public and what people are feeling about spas. And a lot of people are saying that they're actually really looking forward to going to spas and having a spa-cation. Travel is off the books. A lot of people aren't able to go out, to go to restaurants. People are a little bit nervous. But spas is something that people are really looking forward to doing as a treat. So don't be afraid to offer these high profit treatments because that's what everyone is looking forward to. If your region does not allow for facial treatments, for example, in Ontario right now, no one is allowed to do facials, you can consider offering an in-person facial consultation. So from a safe distance, you can offer a consultation, and then you can sell them a skincare routine to use at home, or even a mini facial kit. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. And keep in mind that because of social distancing, you have fewer treatments in a day. So it's really important that to make up for this lost revenue, you need to focus on retail. So for every treatment, you need to include a thorough home care recommendation. That's going to be the only way that you can make up for that lost profit. If you can do facials, so if you're in another province or in a region that does allow you to do facials, or when Ontario finally opens up, here's some things we recommend. One, use technology and equipment together in your facial. People have been used to using DIY treatments at home, so you can offer them something that they can't do at home, like microdermabrasion, galvanic, ultrasonic, LED, photofacials. These are all things that you need to go to a professional for, so they should be something that you focus on. One idea is that you could create a promotion that if they spend X amount on retail now, when you're able to open, you'll give them a free microdermabrasion add-on to their next facial, a free galvanic add-on to their next facial. That's just something you can do to try to encourage people to come into the space to actually get a facial from you. When it's time to do facials, make sure that you're using products that make your job easier. Here's a list of some products that we sell that make your treatments faster and more effective. One, the Diego de la Palma Micellar Cleansing Water. This is a one-step, no-rinse cleansing, so that means it's less time and less linens that you need to use. Instead of using a cleanser toner, just the cleansing water. The Diego de la Palma Blackhead Squeezing Balm. This is wonderful product for extractions. It makes extractions faster and easier, and you don't need to use a steamer. So a steamer takes longer. Some clients might feel a little bit nervous about steam getting in their face, so instead of doing that, just use the Blackhead Squeezing Balm. The other thing is for facial masks, use sheet masks. Cleanup is so fast, you don't need to worry about cleaning it off. You just literally pull off the sheet mask. There's no extra linens, and it allows you to do a faster and more effective treatment. So we have the Icon Super Mask for anti-aging, Urban Life for deep cleansing, Youth Venom is an anti-wrinkle mask, White Light is for brightening. We have the Swissmed Collagen Marine Mask for hydrating, the Swissmed BioLift Anti-Age Mask for smoothing, and the NatureMed Anti-Age Peptides Mask, another anti-aging mask. So these are all great options for sheet masks to make your treatments faster. When it comes to selling home care, as we mentioned, you can sell some at-home facial kits to make up for lost revenue. So if you're not allowed to do a facial at home, why not sell them some products so they can give themselves a little spa treatment at home? We've actually put together a few kits for you. So we have an acne oily kit, a dry dehydrated skin kit, an anti-age kit, and a deluxe anti-age kit. And then we have the White Light kit, which comes from Diego de la Palma for brightening. These are great products. With all of them, you get a scrub and a mask so that your clients can give themselves a little treatment. You can tell them to use the scrub, the oxygenating scrub, apply it on their face like a mask, leave it on 5-10 minutes, exfoliate it off, rinse it off, and then apply their own mask afterwards. And that way their skin is going to get a little treat. All these products are 20% off right now. We'll be sending out a newsletter today with the codes and all the information, but we're giving you 20% off, so that gives you a great opportunity to do a great promo for your clients and really promote that those retail sales. We've also put together something called a COVID stress recovery kit. So this is a kit for all skin types. This is going to combat signs of stress and damage from excess smartphone use. During this pandemic, a lot of people have been working from home. A lot of people have been glued to their phones or glued to their devices. And people have been a lot more stressed because of this whole situation. So we put together a really great kit that's going to target the problems and the signs of stress that have been appearing in people's skin because of this pandemic. So we have the detox concentrate that's going to work for all skins to just cleanse and detoxify and get rid of all that built up stress in their skin. We have the Icon Super Mask for eyes because we're focusing on the eye area. Your eyes are really damaged from stress and from staring at the light of a cell phone. So we have the beautiful eye mask to treat that. And then we have the Reviving Hyaluronic Gel Eye Cream. This is a beautiful eye cream with a little mini rollerball massager. That's the applicator for the cream. So with that little kit, they're able to give themselves a nice little anti-stress kit at home. So even if they can't get a facial, they can bring the spa experience home to them. And now we're going to talk a little bit about mask recovery, a mask recovery program. Since we're talking about selling home care, there's sort of a new phenomenon that people are experiencing in their skin due to mask usage. Everybody's wearing masks everywhere now. When you go to the store, when you go out, even if people go for walks, they're encouraged to wear masks in public. So wearing that mask over your face is causing a lot of strain and stress on people's skin. So since this is a problem that people are facing, we have a program from Diego de la Palma, including marketing support, which addresses this problem. So I'm going to go into that presentation now. I'm just going to share that screen. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong one. Here we go. I see I don't have any questions yet. If you have any questions, please make sure you type it in the chat and I will get to it in just a moment. Okay, so our mask recovery program. So post-COVID, we all have new skin needs and routines. When we were sort of in the beginning of the emergency, everyone was focused on prevention, using sanitizers, masks, frequent hand washing. But now that we're moving into the next phases of recovery, we're starting to see the effects of all the frequent sanitization and the masks that we've been using. So this means hydration, flaking, redness, impurities, acne, dark circles under the eyes, wrinkles in the eye area. This is what we need to treat. The first thing we're seeing is something called maskne, mask acne, that is blackheads, pimples, or small cysts that are appearing around the cheeks, chin, lip contour, and nose, anywhere you wear the mask. This is appearing because of the rubbing, the injury, the occlusion, moisture, pH changes because of the mask, germs, and also don't forget the emotional stress and the cortisol is causing more breakouts for people. So that's the first thing we want to treat. The other thing is we're going to see irritation. So people get redness, dehydration, a little bit of dermatitis, flaking, folliculitis. Again, the cheeks, all the way through this area of the face where you're wearing your mask, where there's going to be rubbing, again, because of occlusion, the rough surface of the masks. Detergents, so you're putting material on your face that are being washed if you're using those washable masks, and you're not used to having detergent up on your face. So that can cause a lot of irritation. And the next thing is compression wrinkles around the eye contour. So from wearing a tight mask, you're starting to compress the skin around here. There's normally not that kind of compression and friction. And so you're getting wrinkles and lines around the eye zone. So maskne, irritation, and compression wrinkles. These are three problems associated with frequent mask wearing. So we need a new beauty routine, something that's going to be quick and something with a light and breathable texture. So here we go. Here's the new routine. 5 simple steps to repair skin. Step 1, we want gentle cleansing. Step 2, exfoliate. We need to do a gentle exfoliation on the area. Step 3, depending on what the problem is, we want to do a specific action to treat that problem. Step 4, we need to focus on the eye contour. And step 5, sun care. We want to protect, especially now going into summer months, with people spending more time outdoors, we need to protect the skin. So for step 1, for cleansing, we recommend the cleansing water, the micellar cleansing water. This is what I was talking about earlier. It's a 1-step cleanser, great for sensitive skin, great for all skin types, to just remove the dirt and oil. This is a water-based cleanser. It removes makeup, impurities from the face, and you don't need to rinse it off. It also has a moisturizing and toning function. So you don't need to use a toner after this. It has panthenol and helicin. We do recommend a gentle exfoliation. So maybe once, maximum twice a week, they can use the Resurface Regenerating Exfoliating Toner. This stimulates cell renewal using Revival, and it stimulates your stem cells for proper skin renewal while protecting the skin's microbiome. It's very important that you protect that skin microbiome so that it's not subject to more. If you remove that microbiome, your skin becomes more sensitive and subject to more irritation. So this is a great toner. It'll gently remove those dead cells and make the skin smoother, give you a more vital complexion. So if you have that irritation or redness, if you have those spots, maskne, this will remove that and make your skin more fresh. Step 3, the specific action. So we have to look at what is the client's problem. The detox, essential detoxifying concentrate, this is great for all skin types. This is detoxifying. So if they've had a lot of stress, if they've had a lot of buildup of impurities, this is going to detoxify the skin. So this is great for all skin types. Everybody should be using the detox concentrate right now. If they have acne, blackheads, dilated pores, you can give them the Resurface Rebalancing Serum. This has vitamin PP. This is going to shrink pores, heal blemishes, remove blackheads. So that's for that acne that they're getting. If they have irritation, secretion, itching, or a lot of oils coming out, the Skin Code Instant Matte Ampule, the Instant Matte Serum, is a great option for those people. So maybe they don't have quite strong breakouts, but just oilier in general, then you can use the Skin Code Serum. If they have a lot of breakouts, a lot of acne, then you would use the Resurface Serum. And in case of redness, dermatitis, cupros, if they're just getting irritated, then you use the Skin Code Stop Red Ampule. That's going to soothe the skin. So you have 4 different options there for a serum, depending on what the problem is. Okay, so here's just a little bit more information about those. And next, the eye contour focus. So there's 2 different eye creams. For younger customers or customers who are really using their smartphones a lot, if you know that they've been working from home and have been really strained around the eyes because of that, the Moisturizing Hyaluronic Gel Eye Contour Cream, that has a little rollerball massager. That one in particular contrasts blue light that you get from smartphones, which is really damaging to your eyes. So for excess smartphone use or someone who's a younger client, that would be the eye cream that you would suggest. If wrinkles is their concern, if they're more mature or maybe from compression, they have a lot of those wrinkles around the eye area, then the Icon Time Corrective Eye Contour Cream would be a better option for them. This is more targeted towards dark circles and specific wrinkles around the eyes. And for everyone, we recommend the Super Mask Eye Soothing Mask. This is a specific treatment. They can just do once a week. It's a beautiful sheet mask, really easy to use at home. It's cooling and refreshing, and it has silver, platinum, and gold in the mask to treat anti-aging in the skin. So it's a beautiful, beautiful treatment. Here's a little bit more information about these products in particular. I should mention that the Super Mask Eye Soothing Mask has strong action against bags in particular, dark circles, and crow's feet. So it goes over the whole face from temple to temple, and you can actually pull out the little eye contours and use it over the lips as well if you want. And finally, step 5 is sun care. We recommend the Daily Protection Fluid. This is an SPF 50. This is going to reinforce the skin barrier function, and it creates an invisible protective film. This is a broad spectrum sunscreen, so it protects against UVA, UVB, and it protects against, it has polyshield, so it protects against pollution and further toxins from entering the skin. So it's like a sunscreen for pollution. It also has cell detoxium, so it's going to help to clear out those toxins from the skin. It has a really soft, silky texture with a matte finish, so it's great for all skin types. It's not going to feel heavy or oily. If you are interested in this program, we do have a beautiful poster that you can use for social media or in your space. This is an issue that a lot of clients might not even realize that they're facing from wearing masks frequently. So this is a good visual cue that you are on top of trends and you have their interests in mind at all times. Okay, so that concludes the presentation. I'm going to get to the chat and see which questions. Someone has asked me, Margaret, can we review this later? I keep losing connection. Yes, absolutely. We record all our webinars, so this webinar will be recorded and available on our website. You'll be able to see it under the training section later today. Gabriella, hi Gabriella. Is Intercosmetics opening anytime soon? Yes, so we're looking at opening Intercosmetics. So Waterloo and Ottawa Intercosmetics stores are open now. We have social distancing in place. So in Waterloo and Ottawa, I believe only 2 are allowed in a store at a time, so you might have to wait outside. We are looking at opening Mississauga next week. Peel region has just opened up as of yesterday, actually. So we just want to make sure that we have everyone, everything organized and everyone safe, and then we'll be opening most likely next week. We will send an email out once that happens and once that's confirmed, and we'll let you know about all those details. Should we change masks between each client? Yes. Yeah, I recommend changing a mask between clients. Now, if you're using the face shield as well, that's up to you. If you're disinfecting the face shield and you have the face shield down and the mask, and you're using the mask properly, taking it off carefully, putting it down carefully, then maybe you can get away with it. If you're using those washable masks, that might be an option. But if you're using a disposable mask, your best bet is going to be to replace it between clients, or at least disinfect and sanitize your face shield between clients. Protection sheet for the bed, is it standard size? Yes, it is. If you need more details on that, you can, I believe on our website, all the protection sheets, we have the sizing details. So you can look on our website for more details, or you can send us an email and we can give you that, the specs specifically. Thanks for the presentation. Thank you for attending. Do you have any idea when we can start facials? Unfortunately, no. We don't get information. We get information as it comes out by the government at the same time everyone else hears it. So not really sure when facials are going to be opened. In Ontario, I know we're in phase 2 now. Maybe that'll be an option in phase 3. I'm not really sure. That's why I would recommend right now trying to pivot. You don't want to lose your clients who have been doing facials. You don't want them to use skincare from the drugstore or from the mall now that stores are open. Make sure that you're spending time doing consultations. So whether you do a virtual consultation for your clients, an in-person consultation now that you can see them in person, selling them on a good routine to use at home, that's going to be really important to make up for that lost revenue, because I'm not sure when we're going to be able to do facials. But if you can offer an at-home facial and you can sell them a cleanser, toner, serum, a mask to do at home, and a day cream, then that should be okay, at least to make up some revenue. Someone asked, can you repeat that last question? My sound was bad. Sorry, Martha, if you can tell me what that question was, I can repeat it. I'm not sure which question you're referring to. Otherwise, you can always review the whole webinar on our website later. I have another question over here. Is the sunscreen mineral based? Yes, yes it is. Yes.
It also has filters.
It is so it's mineral based and it has filters. So it's both a physical sunscreen and a chemical sunscreen. So you're getting that broad spectrum protection. Oh, Martha, your question was, when are we able to do facials and how? I'm sorry, Martha, we don't have an answer to that question yet. Unfortunately, we don't hear information any earlier than everyone else. When there's press conferences and the government announces the next stage, that's when we are made aware of it. So we're not sure when the next phase will be opened up and when facials will be allowed. That's why it's really important right now to try to focus on retailing. That's going to be your saving grace. If you can't do facials, if you can retail, at least that's going to help to bring in some revenue and also help to keep your clients, because if they've been used to having facials regularly, they're going to want something for their skincare routine. So make sure you're offering them a skincare routine that they can do at home. When we're able to do facials, do I need an appointment to go to the store? No, you don't need an appointment. I should correct that. Right now, if you need to go to Mississauga like today, tomorrow, you can give us a call because we're not technically open to the public until next week. But once we send out that email that we're open to the public, you won't need an appointment. I should mention that we will have physical distancing measures in place, so we will have a limit on the number of people in the store, just to keep everyone safe and to make sure we're able to disinfect in between clients. So when you come to the store, you may be asked to wait outside if there's a lot of people inside.
Wear a mask.
And the other thing we should mention, we do require you to wear a mask in store. A few questions here. Are we allowed to go to the store to shop? As I mentioned, Ottawa and Waterloo are open. Mississauga is not open at the moment, but it will be opening next week. Shams is asking, which services are we allowed? Sorry, Shams, I need to know where you're located. Every region has different regulations. For example, in Toronto, now you're allowed to do manicures, but in Windsor, you're not. So the first step is contact public health. Look up your local public health and see your regulations. That's where you're going to see what is allowed and what is not allowed. Each region is a little bit different, and you'll be able to see which services you are allowed to do. Okay, I think that's, any guidelines for waxing in Toronto? You know what?
On the face.
No facial waxing.
Other than that, we just talked about.
Yeah, other than that, it's up to you. You can use, I would recommend the client wears a mask. You use all the PPE that you are comfortable with and that you can get a hold of. You should be wearing a mask. Your client should be wearing a mask. You should be wearing a face shield. An apron, disposable protective gear, gloves if possible. You could even install, for waxing, you could install barriers. If you're waxing a leg, you can have a barrier on their upper body so that they're not breathing onto you. We recommend doing whatever you can to protect yourself, to make yourself comfortable. As we went through all the PPE, take a look at that and see what you feel most comfortable using, but we recommend definitely mask, shield, disposable gown, wherever possible. No treatments basically from the neck up, right? So yes, in the regions in Ontario that are in phase 2, no treatments from the neck up. And are we allowed to do laser hair removal? Yes, you are. And we recommend definitely promoting. If you have laser hair removal, that's a great service to be promoting right now. It's quick and high profit, so that's exactly the kind of thing we want to be focusing on. You cannot treat the face. So as we said before, neck down, you're able to do laser hair removal. No eyebrow wax. No, unfortunately, no eyebrow wax right now in Ontario in the places that are phase 2. Garima, if you're outside of Ontario, I'm not sure, you'd have to check your local regulations. Oh, Garima, you're asking what barriers. I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we have some protective barriers. It's a large plastic barrier, see-through, that you can set up on a table so you can see your client through the other side, and there's a little hole in the bottom like you would see at grocery stores or places like that. You can use that for manicures, but you can also set that up as a barrier for any other locations. Okay, any other questions? I think I have everything. I think those are all the questions. Do we have a new set of new microdermabrasion tips used in the 5-in-1 microdermabrasion? Yes, we have some tips. You can buy extra tips, so you can either send us an email or visit our website, and we can get that for you.
You can soak them, sir. Yeah,
you can soak them, but if you're looking for new ones, you can purchase some new ones from us.
You can call us.
Oh yeah, I should mention all our stores are available for phone calls now. Earlier in the pandemic, we didn't have all our staff in the office, but We are available for phones. We do have social distancing still, so not our full staff back in all locations, so it might be a little bit slower than usual, but you can call, email, or order online. And Waterloo, Ottawa, you can shop in-store. Mississauga, you'll be able to shop in-store most likely next week. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm so glad to see that you're enjoying our seminars and enjoying the webinars we've been doing. We will keep going. We're going to keep going through. Yeah, next week we're actually, I'm not sure if we're going to be doing one next week because it is Canada Day Wednesday, which is the day we typically do our webinar, but we're going to be figuring out when we can do it, and then we're going to be doing a webinar on our body products. We have some amazing, amazing body products and a new pregnancy and mother and baby treatment, which is absolutely beautiful, coming from Italy. So we're going to be advertising and talking about that. And we also have some really amazing protection products coming from Italy, including a beautiful cream from Diego della Palma that you can use to target any problems people might be having, but it's also a disinfectant cream to protect your skin. It's just a beautiful product, and there's sanitizing sprays and all kinds of wonderful products for COVID coming out from Diego della Palma. We're going to be advertising that in the next coming weeks as soon as it arrives from Italy. So everyone, thank you so much for attending this webinar. If you have any other questions, you can always send me an email, or you can reach out at one of our locations, and we'll be sending out a notification about our upcoming webinar. Thanks, everyone.